Good morning, fellas. It's Sunday, and getting ready to get the brisket ready to go in. And what we'll end up doing is we'll end up trimming some of this fat. We'll leave most of it on, but we'll end up trimming some of this fat off. And then we'll put CW's rub on it and let it set overnight. Tomorrow morning around 6 I'll start the barbecue, and we'll get this thing smoking. So when you get her all trimmed up and get ready to put the rub on it, I'll turn this back on. Later, guys. Hey, fellas. Well, I trimmed some of the fat off, not all of it. You'll cook it. I'll cook it with the fat side up so the fat will render down into the meat. But you take a big chunk of it off, but you leave a lot of it on, because this will all render down as it cooks. About 10 hours at 250 degrees. So now we'll rub it down. We'll wrap it up in plastic wrap and stick it back in the fridge until tomorrow morning. More in a minute. I'll now wrap it in plastic wrap, stick it back in the refrigerator until tomorrow morning around 6 or 7. And I get the smoker fired up and excuse me, and up to temperature. In case you're wondering, that is where I get my barbecue sauce and rubs, is from CW. It was at a NASCAR race in Texas, and that's where I met him, and been getting the stuff sent to me every spring. I'd say probably for the last 12 years, and been using it on everything I smoke. Pork, ribs, everything. So that's it for now. We'll pick this up tomorrow morning when we get it on the smoker. Later. Morning, fellas. It's 5:45 in the morning. Happy 4th of July. Yeah, the sun's just coming up. And we got the smoker going. I started with charcoal. It's indirect. And we'll put charcoal down there. And this is a bag of hickory. And I use hickory. So got to pull the brisket out of the refrigerator and get that to room temperature, and get this up to 250 degrees, and we'll put her on more later. Alright, it's 200 and almost 200 degrees, fat side up, and you can see the fire down there. And let's see what it is really. About 167 and building. So we'll close this up. We'll let it go, and the only time this will get open is to check on it about once every hour or so. Other than that, the firebox will be opened and hickory put on it. So that's it. More to come later. Hey fellas, it's about 9:30 on the 4th of July, and it looks like it's definitely going to be a John Kerry day. This has been on for 3 hours, and that's what it looks like. Starting to get a nice bark on it. The fat is rendering down. It's going to be good. So I'm going to throw a couple more pieces of hickory on. There we go. More to come later. Hey fellas, it's a little after 12, so this has been going for, I want to say a good 5.5 hours. Got about 4 hours left to go. So that's where we're at on this. More to come later. Hey fellas, it's about 2:30. Now a windy 4th of July in Vegas, and we are at a little over 250 degrees, and this has about 2 more hours to go, and then we'll cut the fat off the top, get the flat going, take the point and turn around and make some burnt ends. All right, more in a minute or in a couple hours. We'll I'll bring you back when I get ready to start carving this thing up. Later. Hey guys, it's all done. This is fat. As you can see, we're going to cut the fat off. Front end here's the flat. This is the point. Tray is to make burnt ends. What you do is you cut 1-inch cubes of the point, put them in there, load them with barbecue sauce, and throw it back on the smoker for a little bit and get barbecue sauce in it, and then it's just like little niblets of gold or whatever you want to call them. But right now we're gonna, here, you can just see we're just gonna get the fat off. It starts down here. This is part of the point, part of your brisket. Ooh, look at the smoke ring.
It's gorgeous.
That is good. Okay, a little bit of fat here. So I want to get this thing, we're going to have to sit there and stop videoing for a minute. I want to get this onto the cutting board because I don't want to start cutting up on the aluminum pan. Go ahead and pause it. Alright guys, it's on the cutting board. This whole thing is fat. We're going to take this off. Now, I'm pretty much a rookie at this. This
You're doing a narrative, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. Say what you want to say, Tony. I am.
Contusion, a bruise.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. All we're trying to do is get the fat off right now. God, some dogs will give their all. When you cut brisket, you cut it against the grain. And you can see the grain on the flat goes one direction, and then we get up here on the point, and it goes another direction. So, more or less, this is where we're at. You guys have a good 4th, and we'll pick this up on the next one. Later.